Welcome to the April Sings a Lot podcast. My name is April, and as you might imagine, I sing a lot. In this episode, I'm sharing an excerpt from a live event where I use Sing Along Switch, a combination of singing with emotional freedom technique, sometimes called tapping. If you're new to tapping or you would like a refresher on the meridian points that we use to tap on, head over to aprilsingsalot.com for a helpful visual. Let's get to the episode. We're going to start. I'm going to do one of my favorite ones. The lyrics are, "I am loved and I am worthy. Help me know and own my power. I am grateful for the journey. Bring this bud to glorious flower. Grant me wisdom. Grant me courage for the facing of this hour, for the facing of this hour." One of the points that I try to make every time we do a live is that your voice is so important for you to hear. So while I'm told I have a great singing voice and people like to listen to me, and that's lovely, your voice is so important for you to hear. And so I encourage you, if at all possible, to please join and sing along, because something special will happen inside of you when you hear your own voice saying these really powerful phrases, singing these really powerful phrases. And the reason that we sing instead of talk, at least for me, the reason that I've formatted these in a singing style instead of just a talking and tapping style is because singing really touches us at a deeper level, and we kind of get out of our own way more than we do if we were saying these same phrases. So again, just give it a try. If this is new for you, I would encourage you to give it a try. And if you're a regular, I would love to hear from you right now. Just the theme of the session today is about accepting and owning your own voice. And so we're going to be doing some singing and tapping around releasing any negative things that we have around our voice. And it's helpful for us to measure that, and sometimes it's hard to put a number on it. But if you were to have to put a number on it, so let's say scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I love my voice and I challenge anyone to say anything negative about it. I completely own and love my voice. And 1 would be I'm really embarrassed about my voice and I don't want to share it with the world. Just sort of figure out where you are on that scale. If you want to just put it on your own piece of paper or mark it on a in your notes of your phone or something, whatever's most helpful for you. Okay. So our goal here, usually on a scale like this, your goal is to bring the number down, but because of the way I just told you the scale was, we're going to try and bring the number up, right? So the ideal number would be 10, us just really loving and accepting our voices fully and completely. And so we've got some people here that have shared numbers that are already really high, so I'm really excited about that. And then we have some of us who are just not as confident right now, and that's totally fine. I think it's a process. A lot of us, in any given day, might be confident or not, just depending on who we're around, depending on the situation that we find ourselves in. Okay, this is a great question. So you say, not singing voice, but about speaking up for ourselves and being our true selves. I am not distinguishing between singing voice and speaking voice. And I will tell you why. Because so many people, I put out in an email to my list a question, what have you been told about your voice? And I got so many responses that were about the shame that people had about singing specifically as a child, and people saying like, why don't you let the professionals do that, or something to that effect. And how not only did they not sing now in front of people, but it made them less confident about how they spoke. And so while some people might distinguish, like, you know, I accept my speaking voice but not my singing voice, my theory that I'm working on right now, my theory is that your voice is your voice, you know, and how you show up as a singer is also like, if you have any insecurities about that, it's going to show up in other areas of like speaking and maybe nervous to speak up for yourself and things like that. I might be wrong, and I'm, you know, this is where we all learn. So I appreciate your questions, and I would love to have a discussion about it if you have other thoughts on that. Yes, that's what people hear about their art and creativity, which keeps them from doing it more. And it's a shame. Well, I mean, so you've just brought this up for me, but someone told me when I was younger that I couldn't dance. Like, I was kicked out of the little kid dance program that I was in. And so I never danced again because, you know, some person in 3rd grade, some teacher had said that I didn't belong in her dance class anymore. And so, you know, because people in authority tell you something, you just sort of believe it, and then you never think to challenge it until those of us who are like trying to heal old wounds and grow from experiences that sort of maybe stunted our growth in childhood, you start to think about these things and you're like, hey, wait a minute, that's probably not true. And even if it was true, like what's to stop me from like dancing at a wedding or something, you know? It's just, I'm sure those, like that teacher in particular, didn't mean for me to like never dance again. But as a 3rd grader, that was the way that I took it. Was like, this is an absolute, I can't be in this dance class, therefore I shouldn't be in any dance, you know? Yes, exactly. We're helping to rewire our brains and bust these thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to start with the I am loved and I am worthy. I am loved and I am worthy. I am loved and I am worthy. Help me know and own my power. Help me know and own my power. I am grateful for the journey. I am grateful for the journey. Bring this bud to glorious flower. Bring this bud to glorious flower. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. For the facing of this hour. For the facing of this hour. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. For the facing of this hour. For the facing of this hour. All right. Well, those that shared in the comments about your number, I would love to know if that is was helping to bring your number up about accepting and loving yourself, as we are tapping and singing about feeling loved and feeling worthy. All right, a repeat would be great. Okay, let's do it. I am loved and I am worthy. I am loved and I am worthy. Help me know and own my power. Help me know and own my power. I am grateful for the journey. I am grateful for the journey. Bring this bud to glorious flower. Bring this bud to glorious flower. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage for the facing of this hour. For the facing of this hour. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage. Grant me wisdom, grant me courage for the facing of this hour. For the facing of this hour. Ooh. I will just share that I also use those same phrases, that grant me wisdom, grant me courage for the facing of this hour. I use that when I'm about to make a difficult phone call, or when I'm driving to a meeting that I'm nervous about. Just those words are, sometimes when you're nervous or scared, or in a situation that you're just, feel completely out of your comfort zone, having some prepared language to use to ask for help, for spiritual guidance, that to me is gold, And so I found myself using that just a few weeks ago when I was handling that really difficult situation. I was just saying, grant me wisdom, grant me courage for the facing of this hour. And I also like the language that it's just for the facing of this hour, right? So when we get to the next hour, we'll ask for wisdom and courage for that one. But like just taking it hour by hour sometimes is so helpful too. It's just to like use that as a helpful shift in your perspective of like, it's going to be just this hour, and then we'll make it through, and then we'll get to the next hour. So the tapping, thank you for asking. The tapping is used as a pattern interrupter, and it helps us to be more present in our bodies, and then also helps us to release any negative energy that we have stored in our bodies. And so tapping or EFT, you can find actually many courses here in the Insight Timer app. There are wonderful people who teach more about this. And so if you're curious and you want to know more, there's great resources here in Insight Timer for that. I have just developed this technique called Sing Along Switch, which is what we're doing now, which is singing and tapping together, because I find, I think we would all agree that singing is really great for raising our vibrational energy, and it sort of helps us to be more in tune with our spiritual side. That's like singing just brings that out in us, and tapping helps us to release anything that might be holding us back. And also, what we talked about in a previous live session is that a lot of times when we're singing, especially something that we know really well, we can just sort of turn off our brains, if you want to say it like that, and just sort of go on automatic pilot, right? And so it helps us to prevent that from happening and in fact be present instead. So you're more in your like present and grounded in your body because you're actually physically doing something at the same time as you are singing. And so I developed this technique because of a few years ago, 3.5 years ago now, I had a son. And while parenthood is a joy and lovely, it's also exhausting. And I used to be someone who had a lot of time to do journaling and praying and walking and meditating, like all of these wonderful things. And now all of a sudden there's this other person who needs me like 100% of the time. And I needed something that was going to allow me to feel rejuvenated. And this was what I came up with for myself, because tapping has been so helpful, and I knew that singing is the way that I connect with myself and with my higher power. And so that's what this is. And I appreciate you asking. I probably answered way longer than you wanted to, but I hope that was helpful. Yes, combining practices is helpful. So let's do one more. Oh, it's a favorite of mine, and just a perfect way to encourage ourselves to love and accept every part of us. And that is using the phrase, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, so we're about to sing and tap on that phrase. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All right. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. 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 Well, this was lovely. This was lovely. I say often that the more we love and accept ourselves, then the kinder and more loving and accepting we are to others. And so I feel like the work of bringing ourselves into more acceptance of who we are and how we are is the most important work, because it is reflected in how we treat others, which is then, keeps going and going and going. This episode was an excerpt from a live event. If you want to book a session, join the waitlist, or see a visual of the tapping points, head over to aprilsingsalot.com. I'll see you there.